no good news, David. It's only bad news and irrelevant news.
Every cloud.
Odds on, and this is technically 2 for the price of 1, because I really feel like I should be splitting up ranking Formula 1 liveries of 2024 with I don't actually know. I can't predict right now. Actually, I am gonna have to split something to do. This is a decision made right now, and also because I just realized I haven't actually written down what my predictions would be. I'd be doing it on the fly. I don't think I could even remember all 20 drivers on the fly. That's obviously not true. I've been watching the sport at least long enough to be able to name all 20 drivers. But what I mean is I could very easily forget like a Esteban Ocon. I'm joking, Esteban. I just say that to clown you. How could I simply couldn't forget Esteban Ocon just because I have such a hate relationship with him. Not love-hate. No, it's just hate. And again, I'm joking. I don't hate Esteban Ocon. I just find it mildly funny to clown on him. Yeah, I can't predict him right now. Do a whole thing run through. I probably could, but I would say some things I regret. Nothing racist. Nothing like that. I just mean I could maybe say like Gasly will finish above Tsunoda and actually want to change it. In my world, I have not seen testing yet. And I was kind of thinking, I want to have all the information available to me. Some people have done these weeks ago before they even knew certain things like Hamilton would be in a Ferrari. Not this year, but I feel like that could sway where you put them and stuff. Some people do it so early and they think that makes it better. But I like to have as much information as I can. So my predictions aren't just guesses. Because that way, if I get something right, if it's like, wow, I did a good thing. And if I get something wrong, I was like, wow, I did a bad thing. Not criminal bad, but, you know, almost the same level. Criminal in terms of brain power, brain stuff. But then I thought no one else leaves it as late as testing. And is testing knowing too much, actually seeing the cars go out there and seeing how quick they are relative. And then it gets to realms of like, not cheating, but it's not even impressive at this point. I think right now, just before testing and getting a lot of things right, that would be impressive. Getting things right, like being able to say something like, because I'll just be honest right now. There's a good chance I don't say Verstappen will win because I'm that guy. If I say that pre-testing, it's better than if you say post-testing. Regardless, it's not impressive because I'm clearly just admitted that I'm doing it to be that guy. So anyway, it's all null and void. So we're just gonna rank liveries here. We're gonna rank liveries, and let me tell you something right now. Let me sort of preface this, shall I? Isn't it fun hearing other opinions? You know, isn't it fun eating a certain type of food and being like, that is revolting, and then watching another person eat it and they go, oh, yummy, yummy. You're like, wow, that blows my mind how you could even think that's nice. You know, just remember that as we get through these, because I think I've got some teams in here that are off it in terms of what other people think. I think I could very easily do a list that would be more to what I know most of Formula World would be. Like, I know at least who I'd put 10th, at least who I'd put 1st, at least who I'd put like 5th, and everyone would agree. I think a lot of people's Formula 1 livery rankings comes down to things about Formula 1 that I'm just not using as a basis when it comes to me. The carbon, I'm not letting that dictate my life in terms of, it's a disgrace that this car hasn't got carbon, and in protest I'm putting it here. No. This livery is too similar to the other liveries they make, so I'm putting it... No, I'm just looking at them in isolation as a livery. You know, not compared to all the liveries are looking black, so this one I can't like, and all this. No. Just looking at them, that's a car. What do I think of the way that car looks on its own? It goes here. It's very simple. So, I have a full-on list. I wrote little notes to say why I put each one in each place, so I could remember. So I wouldn't have to re-look at some of these liveries. And we'll go from 10 to 1. And it really is that simple. It really is that boring. So if you manage to stick around, well done. Medal for you. I won't be providing it, so imaginary medal for you. Like it all the same. Number 10, Sauber. Kick Team Sauber. It offends me the most. Now, I've said this multiple times, but it is this like green, like Xbox Live kind of gamer style livery. It's just a black car with like these green highlights all over. This like neon green LED lights, sort of gaming chair kind of looking car. It's got, in every way, it just has things that is just like lame about it. Like it looks like it was probably when you make a livery on the F1 game and you were like, oh, I want to make a cool livery my own team, and you just call it your name like racing. you're like Alfie Racing, and we're gonna be this black team with this green neon highlights or whatever. It's got the steak sponsor, which is such a lame sponsor to have on it. Obviously the kick like streaming sponsor. It's this Nickelodeon slime green. I don't even like the shade of the green. Hashtag unleashed on the rear wing. Like, it's just a real like Monster Energy gaming car. And it just ain't hitting for me. The lightning bolt kind of design, this G fuel look, G fuel more like, no, just G fuel looking car. I just don't like it. It's not even a nice shade of green, just black all over, just sort of highlight. It just looks like it's been designed very much like how everyone goes, oh, it's so, like, you look at liveries, I'm doing it right now, and you're saying that one looks crap, I could make one much nicer. 9 times out of 10, this is what people in their heads would be thinking about. Black car, little like most people who I see who play the game, they make their car look like that, and I just think it don't look that cool. Or it's like the reason it probably rubs me the wrong way is like it's meant to look really cool, like it's trying so hard to be cool, and that's what makes it not cool to me. So it's number 10. Number 9 is Williams. It's like the complete opposite. It's like lame, it's loserish. It's like the other one's trying to be cool and I don't like it, and this one's not trying to be cool. I guess it's trying to be smart. Like, it's like navy blue. It reminds me of like primary school. It's like buttoned up shirt, and like it's just lame, man. It doesn't pop in any way. It's dull. What did I write about it? I just wrote too much navy. It's boring. It needs white on it so badly. I feel like it needs pops of white just to make it like show up, to actually look like a 3D image, and it needs maybe. I feel like I like a Williams with maybe a bit of yellow on there somewhere, just highlight, not a lot. Don't take it too far, but I don't know. It just needs. It's just like navy blue with like a slightly lighter blue over the car. And I'm just like, I've seen Fords driving around in the area that look cooler than it, and maybe quicker than it. We don't know how the car's gonna look, but no. 8, I went Haas. Haas, a lot of people have 10th, and I think actually when you look at it, it's like the thing with Haas is like first look, you're like, oh, that's pretty decent. Now the color scheme isn't really for me, the black, white, red. But I'm like, no, that's pretty decent. It's pretty tidy. I think it's better than used to. One that's boring and one that's actively I hate. But the problem with the Haas is that the Haas is so much the livery, like their logo. I look at the car and I thought, oh, it's got this design about it. Oh, it's got that. Then I looked more and I realized, wait, there is no design. It's just a plain car, and the Haas really tricks the mind into thinking there's a design on the car. It's just a black car, really, with like little highlights, tiny little highlights. And I don't really love the color scheme, as I said, so it's gonna have to slot in at 8. Maybe if this was in like if it wasn't black, white, and red, and it was like different colors, that simple, nothing design has changed on a design standpoint, it would go up. But there's just something about it where it's like, it's technically not doing anything wrong, really, but yet everyone has it so low down. I don't really know why, but I'm kind of joining in, I guess. 7, I think this is the team which it would be easy to put in the bottom 2 and everyone would agree, which is Alpine. And it's like, I get it. They got teased with like a colourful front nose and they thought it was going to be colour all over. Now, if the car was actually pink camo all over, I would probably hate it for the same reason that I hate Sauber, Kick Team Sauber, which is that it's like it's trying to. I don't like the whole camo all over thing. It feels like a design you do on Forza Horizon, just pink camo. It's like it would just be, that would feel try-hardy to me. But they very easily could have had a very much cooler looking car with their color scheme, that candy floss kind of color scheme. And instead, they have what is a black car with a sort of unfinished looking design on it, especially the front angle, which just looks awful. It kind of looks like, it's kind of geometric styling, but it really looks like 5 minutes before they took the blanket off, they were like sticking these vinyl stickers on and peeling them off. And they just didn't get them to line up properly, especially on that front angle. But for the colors alone, I do kind of like this whole kind of, what did I call it? Like glitch effect it kind of has from the side. It's just underutilized. It should be on it way more. It's just black. It's just a black car from too many angles. And I don't know. They got 2 versions, but like it's the same car. One's blue, one's pink. Pink heavy, one's blue heavy. And it's like the actual thing they were going for and doing, if they just went and they did more of it, I'd probably like it more. But they just barely do any of it, and it's just kind of, yeah, full 7th for me. 6th, this one again. No one's gonna agree with it, but for the same reason I have like a Williams in 9th, I'm putting Aston Martin 6th. Bored, boring, don't like it. It's a green car with a lighter green line. It's just a green car with a light green line. It's not this beauty of a car. Don't even like the shade of green. Don't even like the shade of green they've used. It's just a, and again, if they just had like, and I get it, it's the sleek one. We're Aston Martin. We've got the British racing green, which I've just learned about that like the other day. This green streak. Everyone says they think the car's leveled up once they got the green streak and left the pink. I don't know. I'm a fan of trying to make green and pink work together. That sort of watermelon color palette. I like that. Think it's more interesting than what they have got. It's very easy to have a car and just find the perfect shade of color for whatever your team colors are. Put the whole thing in that color. Have like a flowing swish line. You're on to at least a 7 out of 10. For me, don't like the shade, and it's boring. People go on about the Red Bull being boring, but at least it is something. There's something iconic about it. This is just trying to live off of being like we're the sleek, cool team too much, and I'm just like, I'd rather you made it actually an uglier livery than this. You could argue the Alpine. Well, you could maybe not argue. You could say for a fact maybe the Alpine is uglier, but it's like something at least, which is usually not like a like principle I go by. The thing that's actually worse, making me feel something, is therefore better. I don't usually say that, but I'm not even kind of saying I think the Alpine's uglier. Or I kind of am. I don't know, but the Aston Martin I put above it, the Alpine anyway. So get off my balls. Racing balls. People would have this maybe a little bit higher. It's the kind of only full color car on the grid, I think. But to me, that's not enough. Like, I'm not that angered by the black thing. I wish there was more color on most of the cars, but it doesn't anger me enough to, like, in protest, put this that high. Because I don't think it's actually that nice or that... It's kind of heavy-handed in its design, I think. The block colors are kind of too thick at points. I think the side angle ain't great. I think the front angle is amazing. I think the side angle, I almost hate. It's got a lack of sponsors, and that kind of makes the car look a bit bootleg, look a bit market stall. A little bit own brand in that sense. You really do need a lot of sponsors just to make yourself look more legit. But it is a breath of fresh air for the eyes, and I do appreciate that, and I do really like that. I was looking at renders, and I think it probably looks nicer in real life. The renders, I don't think does it any favors. But I just think the thickness of that white, like, sort of diagonal line, and like the horizontal one it just wasn't really working in a way for me. It kind of looked a bit empty, the car, but I do like that it's full color. Red Bull 4. I think this is the right place for it to be. I'm not judging off the fact that it's the same livery every year. It's doing a good job. It's an iconic livery. I'm just looking at it as a design, as if I've seen it for the first time, and I think it's good. It is a bit mute. I think it is crying out for a bit of like chrome, kind of silvery color on there, like the can of Red Bull. Doesn't have to be in a huge way. Maybe just like sort of around the halo and the sort of bit on the nose, a bit around it. You know what I mean? Just like a little bit. Even if it's just the amount that the Aston Martin has, that light green. Even if it was just the amount of that on the car, and just to sort of add some kind of, it would just add life to it, I just think. And it's kind of their colours anyway, or Red Bulls at least. So I think that would help it. But it's very tidy. I think that's the best way to describe it. It's tidy. It's got a design element to it that I like, in the way they incorporate their logo on the top of the car. It looks fast. And yeah, that's what I have to say about it. Moving into the top 3. We've got McLaren left, we've got Ferrari left, and we've got Mercedes left. And I think out of these 3, it's very obvious which is the worst out of these 3, and then you could argue for the top 2. If you might not say these 3 should be the top 3, but if these had to be the top 3, I think most people would agree on which 2 are the best out of this 3. And for me, the worst out of this 3 is Ferrari. It's nice. I like that they've gone for some kind of design that isn't just red. And this is kind of what I'm giving it credit for. It's like, it could be like the Aston Martin, but even less so. It could just fully be red. And a lot of people would like that more, maybe. As soon as I saw it's got like these lines in it, I like it. I think the lines could be even thinner. I think it would maybe look better if the lines were thinner. The thickness of them and the shade of them And the car the car does look kind of a little bit cheap in the sense that Ferrari is meant to be one of these teams like Aston Martin. That's this whole like we're cool. I don't want to say McDonald's comparisons because that's so easy and everyone loves to say that like it's the freshest take on the earth. But I do think that from the side profile, those lines just disappear. Like, they're noticeable from the top angle, but how often are we looking at it from that angle? The side angle, they just kind of disappear. So maybe I would have liked it if the lines kind of went up the car a little bit more, so you could still see them on the side profile. Um, what else did I say about it? It's like they tried something different, but in the safest way possible, basically. Which at least is different. Lines could be more angled. I do think they're a bit too vertical, especially on like the front nose side of it. If you know which part I'm talking about. I think the halo needed some of that white and yellow on it too. I think it's kind of looks so empty up there, and it's called a halo. You know, white and gold is a halo colours. So maybe they could incorporate some of that white and gold onto that halo part as well. If they were feeling really spicy, but they didn't. I think that would have took it up for me. Number 2 and number 1. I'll say number 2 and then 1, but it's obvious. Actually, we'll just say the winner. And there's probably some bias to this because it's probably the team I back the most if I have to pick a team. And that team is McLaren. McLaren, I've put them 1, man, and I've put Mercedes 2. And simply because, again, it's a colour palette thing. The McLaren just pops way more. The Mercedes is only going to pop so much. I prefer the colours of the black and orange. It's just a cool colour palette, and it works really well. Out of all the cars that have a lot of black on them, it does it the best way, and it looks the best. And the McLaren, I think the Mercedes is doing a great job considering it's in a field of cars where people are kind of not liking the darker cars. They've got to deal with the car being dark with only they just do it better than Aston Martin. Plain car, the swoop. Mercedes, same thing. It's going to be a black car with a swoop. But this year, they've got the gradient, and it can be that simple. The gradient, the stars on the back. I think the red of the Ineos on the top and like the two wings. Actually, I like it more for the red. The red's just sort of. It's like in Ratatouille with the cheese and the strawberries. That's good. Put them together. This is proper life. You just need it. And I think that I would probably like this livery less if it was just like the top part. Was an exhaust? Where the fuck even? I'm not a car guy. If it was that, I was just black and the inside wings were black. Because it'd be tired. It'd probably appeal to more people. But just having that bang of colour, like I think it adds something to me. And something you need to look at a lot. And it sort of grows on you a lot over time. And that's what it's done. The colour streak pops way more than the Aston. Yeah, I agree with that. Those points I made earlier. And it's less cheap looking than the Sauber. Yep. It's serving different looks as well from different angles. You get the front angle, you're like, oh, that looks cool. For this reason, it's silver all over. It's this arrow. It's nice. The side, a lot more black heavy. That looks cool. The top angle, like it gives you like a different vibe from each angle. It's very good. But the McLaren, I'm a bit biased. The front angle is so orange. If you think the car's got too much black in it, where the front angle is like primarily all orange, right? The sponsors fit into those color blocks, like of the diagonal sections, so nicely. Again, I think both cars have sponsors, Red Bull including. They have that's just their logo, I guess. So McLaren and Mercedes, I think, both have sponsors that actively make the car look better. Like I think the Ineos actually makes Mercedes look better. That's a hot take. But I think the chrome also logo makes McLaren's car a lot cooler. The chrome inside the wheels, because it's just black and orange, and the chrome in the wheels, I just think that adds extra colours to it. That pops in a way that's really cool. Chrome on the side connects in that way. I just think it really works for the car. And pops in a great way, and I think it's going to be near the front of the grid. I'm feeling a bit ill, I can't lie. I feel like I was like collapsing there. I need to like go get some fluids or something. But man, testing this weekend. That is. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's no way I'm watching testing, but I'll keep up with what happened. Because the race, that's what I care about. The qualifying, the weekend as a whole. That's what we're here for. The races are gonna be on the Saturday because of, I want to say Ramadan. But I don't actually remember for sure, but it's on the Saturdays, so it's a little bit different. And I'm just happy it's back, man. It's gone so long. I'm just happy it's back here. Probably have another one of these at some point, at least I'll make another one of these because I want to have my predictions before I actually see the testing. So just know, regardless of when it comes out, my predictions will have been before seeing the testing. I'm saying that like I'm definitely going to give amazing predictions. So I'm trying to like really, they're probably going to be shit anyway. But yeah, ranking the liveries somehow for 20 minutes. That should be done in about 4. Dankeschön. Dankeschön.